Hi, Autoimmune Sisters. So we're going to cut to the chase because the reality is I could literally talk for hours. And if any of you are on our volunteer committee or on our admin team, then you know what I'm talking about. And it's interesting. It was brought up during our last phone call that I am actually a social introvert. As much as I love communicating and connecting and sharing and creating a community, I love being in my home office for about 7 to 8 hours a day with no interruption, no noise, no podcasts, no videos, no sound, no children asking me questions. It's true. I love alone time and I actually rejuvenate really well that way. But for the purposes of this webinar, I am going to be social and I am going to tell you everything that I can squeeze in to 20 to 25 minutes. So wish me luck. So those of you that watched my intro, you know that in the last 10 years, I've been battling some gut health and hormone imbalance issues. And I know that I'm not alone because I have shared my story or parts of my story with a lot of you, and you have commiserated with me that you understand what I'm going through. You understand because you have the same symptoms, or you have similar symptoms, or you've gone through things that have triggered the symptoms that we all kind of have been dealing with. So first, before we dive in, I want to tell you a little bit more about me specifically. Only because, yes, we could both have Hashimoto's and we could both have Epstein-Barr virus. But girl, I got a whole lot of other things going on too. And so the last thing that you need to do is take on all of the things that I'm going to share with you today and apply them to your life if they don't fit. This is like a parenting book. Take what works and leave the rest. And the hope is that I'm just helping you understand a little bit about myself and what I've gone through, and that maybe some part of what I'm sharing today is going to help you on your own health journey. So, symptoms, diagnoses. Let me start my list. I got Epstein-Barr virus in high school. Not once, not twice, but three times. I have 3 active strains of Epstein-Barr virus, people. 3. Well, I did. I have one that's quiet, 2 that are crazy. So I got those in high school. Had no idea. I remember my mom saying something about how do you have more mono? I thought mono was 1, like kissing disease. I remember my dad and my brother was picking on me about it. Had never kissed a boy yet, so I don't know where this is coming from. Clearly somebody wasn't washing their hands. I don't know. But what I will tell you is that it sucked. It was the middle of my basketball season for my 3 years that I played JV and varsity basketball. And I had to take entire weeks of training and winter breaks and trying to heal and get better. And I got better, and then I was fine for 8 or 9 months, and then I would get sick again. And so what I didn't know is that this is going to ultimately be the underlying issue that has caused the rest of my body to fall apart. So fast forward a couple of years, I'm now 27, pregnant with my second child, going through a weird marriage that ended up ending in divorce about 2 years after my daughter was born. And during that pregnancy, I was sick every single day, all day long. Not morning sickness. This is sickness that never ends. I literally remember getting pulled over by a cop because that happened. Apparently I sped through a stop sign, which I still to this day do not believe. I had my 2-year-old son in the back seat. I had a silver throw-up bowl seatbelted to the front seat of my vehicle. And this cop pulled me over and he's like, "Ma'am, you know why I pulled you over?" I'm like, "No, I don't, but I'm ready to throw up." And he gave me a ticket, talked to his people, got the ticket, of course, reduced because I was deadly sick and was trying to just get home. Not my first story of getting out of a ticket, but tell the truth. You get pulled over? Tell the truth. You'll get out of that ticket. Well, most likely. And don't cry. They hate criers because everybody cries. Anyway, bad side note. So here I am pregnant, sick out of my mind, literally eating a watermelon one day, Cheetos another day. Whatever I was eating the day before didn't work the next day. I kept having to switch up what my body would tolerate. I would go into doctor's appointments and they're like, "Oh, ma'am, you need to lay off the carbs." Huh? Lay off the carbs? I'm not even eating enough nutrients to keep my own body alive. Is the baby going to be okay? And it was like, oh yeah, the baby's going to take everything it needs. Well, she sure did. Abigail literally took everything that she needed from my body. And just a few months after I had her, I was back in Zumba, because that was a really big thing then. Back in Zumba, back lifting weights. Yeah, I got a little muscle. Yeah, thankfully it's still there, even though I've not lifted weights regularly in a very long time. But I was a mess. I was like, I'm eating right. I'm nursing. I'm sleeping well. I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing. What is wrong with me? I went to my primary care doctor, this incredible woman, and she looked at me and she threw her fingers up in my neck and she said, what? You have Hashimoto's. I'm sorry, I have what? Yeah. Referral to an endocrinologist. Endocrinologist wanted to know how many miscarriages I'd had. I was floored by the question. That was the first question out of his mouth. Sitting there with my 3-month-old and my 2-year-old, and you want to know how many miscarriages I've had? None. And his response was, none that you know of. And it was then that I knew that there was something different about me. Ladies, it took until, I was, 33, 34, before I even really knew what autoimmune disease was. I had no idea. I had no idea what I was a part of. And it was frustrating and overwhelming because they give you this pill called Synthroid or levothyroxine, and they say, here, take this pill and all of your symptoms are going to magically go away. And I went home and I took that pill. And yes, my thyroid levels, probably my T3, T4, TSH, whatever it is that they checked back then. Yes, that leveled out. But I was still bloated and fatigued. I was still uncomfortable. My body wasn't working right. My brain was foggy. For the first time in my life, I felt like I had no control over any part of who I was. All while my husband is having an affair with multiple women that I didn't even know of. He was disconnected from our family. My stress levels went up, and I'm sitting at home with these 2 children wondering, this is my life? And I can't think straight, and I can't remember where I put something, and I walk into a room and I can't think of what I'm in there for. That was my life. Dealing with doctors that told me that you are on the right level of medication. There is nothing wrong with you. Fast forward a couple more years. I'm now going through a divorce. My ex-husband decided that he no longer wanted to be a father or a husband. I should have known from those affairs to walk away. Ladies, let me just tell you one thing. I should have walked away. He never changed. Nothing changed. I should have walked away. And instead, I let it lay and I let it fester, and I had 2 children and I had symptoms, and I became worse and worse and worse. And then at the age of 30, I went through a horrific 3-year tumultuous divorce, spending over $100,000 in legal fees to protect my children from a man that did not and would not do the right things to get himself healthy and to fix the issues with his own childhood in order to spend time with them. And during that time, my B12 levels dropped. My Epstein-Barr virus reactivated. I was literally a shell of a woman. My brother, thank goodness for little brothers, let me tell you. Little brothers that are 6'4". By the way, I'm 5'10". So if any of you think I'm short, I'm not. I'm 5'10". But I am the shortest in my family, so that's the thing. My little brother, Andrew, would pick me up, and he has Addison's and Hashimoto's, which, people, like, that's a frustrating combination. And Anessa on our team, she has that combination as well. And this guy, my amazing brother, used to pick me up and drive me to the primary care doctor for B12 injections. My B12 was in the 130 to 140 range. And now that I know about B12, and now that I've educated myself about B12, I now know that I need to be in the 600s. And if I'm below that, I'm symptomatic. So at this time, I was in the hundreds. My body was not working. And for the next several years, I would piece things together. I went gluten-free. I had already been lactose-free since my pregnancy because any type of ice cream or sour cream or any kind of funny cheese did not sit well. And so I've been lactose-free. I still eat butter and I still eat extra sharp cheddar. And I know it has casein and I know it's bad for me, but I still do it. So I changed a lot. I gave up Krispy Kremes and donuts and Big Macs and women, all the things that you want to eat, like I gave them up. And I'm like, this is all I'm giving up. I'm not giving up anything else. This has to fix me. And it would work for a little bit. And then the symptoms would come back. And then the stress would come back. And then other issues would come back. You name it, I dealt with it. Many of you that are watching, I have been exactly where you are right now. And it's going to be okay. We're going to get this fixed. So a year and a half ago, talked to my mom, and she's like, so Aimee, you have really educated yourself on all things autoimmune. And you know things that most people don't even know about themselves, like the common thread among us, having type A personalities. We like to succeed at all things. We have very high expectations from ourselves. We will literally do anything for anybody else, but we refuse to ask for help. If you are one of those people, can you just, even though I can't see you, just raise your hand for me? Admit it. Because that just makes me feel like I probably was onto something there. Because the reality is that after researching and after talking to women and after sharing my story and people dropping their walls and sharing their story with me, I have learned so much at this point. And my mom was like, Aimee, you have the ability to share your story and put words to pain and put words to difficult situations that people are hoping for. They see hope inside of you because there's something there. And I'm like, me? I am a website designer. I am not a community leader. I am not starting some random Instagram account and hoping that it grows because it's not guaranteed to succeed. And the last time that I did something that didn't succeed, yeah, that was my ex-husband, and that was a broken marriage, and that was burdens that I carried, and I don't want to carry things that I put every last bit of effort into, and they fall apart. I don't want to fail. And encouragement after encouragement after encouragement of my mom, she's like, Aimee, I really feel that God is calling you to this. Okay, fine. I will start sharing my story. I will start letting people know what I have been through. But the first time that I get somebody that is mean or ornery or disrespectful or hurts me, I'm done. Because I can't handle stress and I need to remove toxic and I need to remove things from my life that don't work right. Ladies, let me tell you, in the year and a half we've had our Instagram account, the negative comments are so minute and so careless and thoughtless of the person that they had no impact. Because the over 10,000 people that follow our Instagram account and the almost 900 members inside of our community tell me that I am right where I'm supposed to be. With an incredible admin team, Madison and Ashley and Anessa, that have been there literally for the last year, every week, loving this community and helping me grow it. The almost 50 small group leaders that we have, shepherding all of these women inside of our small group communities. Ladies, we don't have it all together. We don't really know what's going to happen next, but what we do know is that we are here with purpose, and sharing our story is just the tip of the iceberg. It just allows us to drop those walls and allow us to feel that we are not alone in this journey. I could go on for days, but I'll spare you that because I have about 10 minutes left and I have a lot of work to get through. So 3.5 weeks ago, I took a quick trip to New York. It was 9 degrees. And for those of you with Raynaud's phenomenon, you know that I've posted some pictures of my fingers. My hands don't work so well in 9 degrees. It was 2,000 feet above sea level. If any of you have experienced any altitude issues at all, know that you're not alone. If I go on a plane, I am bloated. I am uncomfortable. My legs swell. My body swells. My rings don't fit. Yeah. So I do better at sea level. So here in Virginia, I do great. I'm right about 100 feet above sea level. So sea level or altitude, temperature, helping my parents with their motorcycle event show, lots of socializing. You know, for those of you that know me really well, you know that I do much better not socializing a whole lot. My husband ended up having to go. Yes, I got remarried, by the way. He's amazing. My husband, Lenny, had to go to a court appearance, so some more stress. And so he ended up not being able to go to New York with us and ended up traveling down to North Carolina instead. And stress and stress and more stress and out of home and not at home and not really sure what to eat because I keep gaining weight. And literally I put on 11 pounds in a week. It just kept piling on. And I was not eating 11 pounds. There's no way that was food. You got to think of that logically, right? But when your brain is tired and you're fatigued and you don't feel good, you don't think logically, you think emotionally. I mean, I remember weighing myself thinking like, why am I weighing myself? Like, I drink water and I gain weight. Something is wrong. And Madison, oh my gosh, bless this girl. I owe her my life. So Madison is on our admin team. She has Crohn's, and she's been on SCD for a long time, and it has helped her symptoms. And over the past year of weekly check-ins, I have learned a lot. And I remember talking to her thinking, okay, Madison, how do I do this? How do I go all in? I am so tired of these symptoms. I'm going to read them for you because there's that many. Bloating, constipation, gassy, random and unnecessary weight gain, calories in and calories out no longer working, literally fatigue. Now there is a difference between human tiredness and fatigue, and I was fatigued. Autoimmune flares, that was me. New diagnoses, yeah, oh yeah. I have Hashimoto's and pernicious anemia and narcolepsy. I have Epstein-Barr virus. Yeah, got a couple things going on over here. Oh, and I have the MTHFR genetic mutation, which if any of you know what that is, you can Google C677T, and it will tell you that I need methylated B12 and methylated folate, things that I did not know when I had my daughter. And they were giving me pills and pills of folic acid and probably creating the disaster of my pregnancy. Things we just wish we knew. Food intolerances. Underlying issues for me is SIBO, small intestinal growth, bacterial overgrowth. And what that means is there's a whole bunch of bacteria in my gut that was not helping me process my foods out, and it was causing a whole lot of problems. But some of you may have H. pylori or candida, other bacterial infections, molds, metals, you know, lots of things, right? Hormone symptoms. Thyroid issues, yeah, I have Hashimoto's. Did you know that if you have Hashimoto's or Graves', that means that your thyroid hormone is off. And if your thyroid hormone is off, guess what other hormones might be off? The rest of them. Oh yeah. Irritable mood swings, sugar cravings. People, I could literally sit here and eat a bag of gummy bears for a meal. I love sugar. Heavy, long periods like 19 to 22 days long. Try having a period for 20, 22 days. Lack of a regular cycle. I was like the reverse. It was like I had 6 days off and like 22 days on. It was. If you have an irregular menstrual cycle and someone gave you birth control, please send me an email. I have some resources for you. That's all. Weight gain, water retention, puffy face, and acne. I was literally breaking out all over here, underneath here. I was getting little dots on my sides, everywhere. Hormone and gut. So now we got to fix these things, right? When you're fatigued and your brain is foggy and You're overwhelmed with the stresses of life, and there is a lot going on in our world right now. It is hard to think straight. It is hard to come up with a new plan. It is hard to figure out what the heck are we going to do to get better. So let me tell you what I did. Number one, reducing stress. I am a Jesus girl. It is what it is. New Morning Mercies by Paul David Tripp. I sent one of these to all the women for our Christmas gift this year for Autoimmune Sister Admins. And I will tell you that I don't read it every day. I'm not that good. But on the days that I make a minute, I take a minute, I purposely find time to sit down. That's what I read. Bible, prayer. That's what I do. Maybe you do meditation. Maybe you do mindfulness activities or other things that you enjoy doing. Girls, I gotta be in church on Sunday or lately online church. Pray with my husband and spend time in his word. Like, that's really my biggest stress reducer. Mindful of my tone and my attitude. Oh, I can impact people in ways that I didn't even know was a thing. Remove all unnecessary notifications from your device. The only things that I have on are phone calls, text messages, and Instagram comments and messages. Literally everything else on my entire phone is turned off. Nothing can bother me until I want to. It reduces my stress. In addition, no email, no work. As a website designer for 12 years, I do have clients that want to get a hold of me all the time. Guess what? I'm not available. I have work hours, and even sometimes I don't do all those work hours. And I don't work unless I'm in my office. So unless I'm sitting here at my desk, no work gets done. Ladies, for me, it is about finding a balance. Finding a work, life, de-stressor, personal balance. That is what I had to do. Next step, sleep. Ladies, you gotta sleep. Those years that I was really, really, really sick, I wasn't sleeping so well. And there's tremendous benefit in sleeping. I will not go into all the details here, but tremendous benefit. So I have no notifications on my phone from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m., which means you message me, you call me, you need me, guess what? Nothing. That's my downtime. My wake-up alarm is at 6:50 in the morning, and that gives me 10 minutes of chill time before any notifications show up on my phone. And typically by the time they show up, I'm already downstairs making a breakfast smoothie for the kids or getting ready for work. So weighted blanket or a heavy quilt. I sleep with a very heavy quilt on our bed at night, and feel cozy when you sleep. Have a routine and avoid that phone the first thing in the morning. Get rest, get good sleep. You need that. During the day, I have increased my physical activity. This last week, now that the kids have been home, I've not been walking the dogs every day, but that has been my excuse. Walking the dogs, getting on a spin bike, doing a easy weight lift routine, wearing my body out, my human body, not my autoimmune fatigue, but my human body. So let's talk about some ways to improve our guts. Limited diet for the short term. Some of you have heard the words AIP, SCD, low FODMAP. There's lots of restrictive diets out there. And yeah, they are great. And they do reduce what is inflaming your intestines and your gut for the interim. They are not long-term. And so my suggestion, get some medical advice. Read some doctor's notes, read some research, and try and figure out what it is that your body needs. I did an AIP about 6 years ago when I went gluten-free, and so I already knew the trigger foods in my diet. I just didn't know what else was causing problems. So for me, I went SCD. I also was tested for some gut underlying issues. So I was tested for H. pylori and candida and cortisol issues and 17 panels of testing. lots of testing. And the majority of it came back that I'm really okay. So we're dealing with SIBO, which is this small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. And so that's what I did. I went on an SCD diet. So no sugar, no grains, no lactose. I also cut out beef, chicken, and turkey because of those hormone issues. And even if you have antibiotic and hormone-free, those animals still have hormones in them. And so if I'm wanting to really work on reducing my estrogen levels, then I need to cut out foods that have estrogen. Eat when hungry. Increase your water. So I'm gonna show you a couple things. These are my new best friend. Roasted jumbo cashews that are unsalted. Do you see that unsalted? I know, it sounds terrible, but it's really what I eat now. Okay, creamy almond butter. You know what's in here? Almonds, no sugar, almonds. I use dates for all of my energy things. Honey is my sweetener. This is the only sugar I'm getting right now. No, I do not take it by the teaspoonful or the tablespoonful. I have been doing this for 3.5 weeks now, and no sugar. Trust me, if I can do it, you can do it. I eat lots of little snacks, artichokes, Lara bars, lots and lots and lots of Lara bars. I get hungry. They have like 6 ingredients in them. They're all healthy. Thank you, Madison. These have zucchini, apple, flaxseed, coconut, turmeric, oregano, onion, and black salt. The foods that I eat now. Isn't that so fun? So those are some of the foods I make smoothies all the time too. I brought up my smoothie. Get a good blender. Make smoothies. You know what we eat every week? You know what my new staple is in our house? Yeah, it's cheap and it's good. Throw it in your chilies, throw it in your soups, throw it in your stir fries, throw it in your smoothie, throw it in everything. Everything. Just get it in, girl. Okay, next. I had to soothe my gut. In order to soothe my gut, I needed this stuff called ibrogast. So I take this before I eat. I also take Espoulardi, probiotic. I take berberine, turmeric. This is 27 times the available amount, by the way. These are all anti-inflammatories. Magnesium. Omega-3s. Glutamine. And Newton's homeopathic detoxifier. Yep, I'm busy. It's a lot, I know. So that's what I am doing right now to soothe my gut, reduce inflammation, reduce the issues with my gut. And let me tell you, ladies, within 3 days, 3 days, 3 days changes behavior, right? Isn't that what we were told when we had kids when we were little? It's like, oh yeah, just teach them 3 days, changes behavior. 3 days. I have been regular. My hormones are they're almost there, getting balanced. The acne is gone. The bloating is gone. The puffiness is gone. 3 days. I'm at 3.5 weeks and I am fully convinced that this is exactly what I need to be on. And it is not short and sweet. It took time. So let me get through this before I run over big time. Add kale to everything. Cook clean. I'm going to show you my new clean cooking. So I have this thing called an Extrema. It is 100% ceramic. Don't let your kids touch it because it will break. Cook clean. You can eat clean. You can eat really good foods. But if you're not cooking on good surfaces, you're still getting toxins. Eat clean. Okay, next. We're going to talk about hormones. So I removed our toxic cookware, which is PFOA and PTFE surfaces, Teflon surfaces that were scratched open, things that I just had not thought about or thought to replace or whatever, but I replaced all those with toxic-free 100% ceramic cookware. Let's see, I replaced our cleaners. So these awesome people over at Branch Basics sent this stuff to me, and I've been using it, and I haven't really shared anybody about it yet because I wanted to use it for a long time. We've been using this on our laundry. This is the laundry detergent. It only takes 3/4 of a cup for an entire load. And it was so funny because we used it for the first time, and I asked my daughter what she thought, and she smelled it, and she's like, it just smells like clean water. Super awesome. Toxin free and clean. That's what I want in my family for my house. So that's what we did. We changed our cleaners, changed our cookware, changed my beauty products. If you don't know about Roses and Azalea already, or the webinar that she already gave, go check her out. She has so much incredible information, and her husband are amazing scientists, super amazing scientists. So anyway, changed out my products for my hair, my face, my cleaners, my everything. I was all in. Still am all in. In order to reduce my estrogen dominance, BioResponse Dim, I started out taking 1 at night. I now am taking 2 at night. If you take these and you have a detox effect, then maybe you're like me, and I had to add calcium D-glucarate. Yeah, don't ask me how to pronounce that. Anyway, I'll post an article about that too, so you can see what I did. I also take Newton's Homeopathic Pro Progesterone Bioidentical Drops, those underneath my tongue every night before I go to bed. Iron, low ferritin issues. I take Liquid Plant Force Iron, and I pair that with vitamin C. I take that at night because I feel all the things, all the symptoms, all the stuff. So ever since taking those things and being on a regimen and being intentional and purposeful with taking these things, all of my symptoms of having estrogen dominance have gone away. And my blood work just came back yesterday. And my hormones have leveled out. In 3.5 weeks, my hormones have leveled out. So, in a nutshell, my very long-winded webinar. In a nutshell, step 1, write down your symptoms. Write them all down. Write down your diagnoses. Write down the viruses or the diseases that you are aware of and get them all on a piece of paper. From there, I spent hours, days, weeks researching. Find people in this community. Find people that are leaders in our community. Come talk to us admins. Come ask us for help. That's what we're here for. And yes, we're probably going to direct you to a resource because we are not doctors. We are not here to offer medical advice, but what we are here for is to provide you the resources and the tools that you need to be successful in healing your body. Dr. X, Chris Kresser, Dr. Ruscio, Dr. Isabella Wentz, Dr. Sarah Gottfried, and Judy Herod, the SCD creator. Those are the people that I did a checks and balances on. If one doctor said one thing, I would find another doctor that said the same thing. I looked at research and I wanted to make sure everything was well scientific documented, or I didn't do it. Because this is a lot. When you change this much about your life, girls, you got to know what you're doing. Do your research. Don't just accept what somebody is telling you, whether they're a natural doctor or a health coach or a primary care doctor. You can figure this out. You may need help, but research and understand what it is that you're taking. Understand why you're taking berberine. Understand why they're asking you to do what they're asking you to do. Oh, by the way, I forgot. Selenium. For Hashimoto's, I take selenium. This is my only medication. It's Armour Thyroid. That's it. My only medication. And then once my gut heals further, I'm going to go back on Epstein-Barr virus drops. Get that. EBV in remission. Once and for all. Once you do your research and once you have figured out what it is that your body needs, make the change. I hung on for years because I was not going to give up sugar. I was not going to stop. I was going to work as long as I wanted to. I was going to stress my body out and I was going to get as little sleep as I possibly could because what did it matter? I wake up tired anyway. I don't want to live like that anymore. you all come to a point where we hit a wall and we have to decide if we're going to change or if we're going to continue to hit the wall. At 37 and a half, I don't want to hit that wall anymore. Monitor your symptoms and get your blood tested. Get your labs done. Get your fecal samples done. Get your breathing test done. Whatever it is that you need to get done. Every single test that I took was from that list of doctors I just listed off. I went to my primary care doctor and I said, hey, this is what I need from you. I don't care if my insurance covers it. I need to know what is wrong with my body. I want full panels of everything. You want me to be fasting? You want me to do it at 2 o'clock in the afternoon? I don't care. I will do it. Because I am worth it and my family is worth it and this community is worth it having a leader that is healthy. So I did. And I will continue to. Every 6 weeks, I will go in for more blood work. I will go in for more labs. I will do the work, and I will make sure that what I'm doing is helping. Ladies, the last step is to feel better and live a good life. I've had no energy support for 3.5 weeks. I was taking yerba mate in the morning just to keep myself awake in the morning because I don't drink coffee. I love the smell of coffee, but I don't drink coffee. I have no other way to boost my energy until 3 weeks ago. I stopped taking yerba mate because I accidentally forgot. And I called Madison and I was like, I didn't take my yerba mate. Does that mean I'm feeling better? And she's like, well, maybe just take one. Maybe just see how you're feeling for the next day or two. By the Friday of the first week, no energy support. Ladies, there is a huge difference between autoimmune fatigue and human tiredness. And this last Sunday, I took my first nap in 3 weeks for 2 hours. And I woke up refreshed. Hasn't happened for 10 years. So, some bright spots. For those of you that have had antibodies done or antibody testing done, my antibodies were 272. In the last 3 months, they have dropped to 164. And yes, under 9 is the ideal, but this tells me that this last month that I have been doing what I've been doing is working. I have improved my vitamin D. I have improved my B12. I have improved my iron. I have my energy back. I can focus again. Regular digestion. Wow. It's a thing. I didn't even know what was normal. Now I know it's normal and I never want it to leave. Regular digestion. And as of this last week, after 2 weeks of DIM and calcium D-glucarate and progesterone under my tongue and being in a routine and sleeping well at night and removing toxins from my body and removing stressors from my life, this is the longest I've gone without having a menstrual cycle in years. I know it's a lot. I know it's a lot when you don't feel good. And by no means am I telling you that this is what you need. This is what I need. This is what I'm doing for my gut and my hormones and for my rest and for my stresses. This is what I'm doing. But I'm going to tell you, in the last 3 months, I have paid $22 in copays. Yes, this mess is expensive. But it's not as expensive as going down empty rabbit holes filled with bad advice and not having a clue what I'm taking. I can now own this. I created this mess of crazy, and I can own it. And I can tell you why I take everything that I take. And I will do my very best to give you an update in a couple months, because I'm sure y'all want to know what's going on with me, right? But yeah, life is hard. Being sick and living a hard life is hard too. I've been there. And if I can do all of this, if I can eat healthier and take the right supplements that my body doesn't have right now, if I can transition back to a normal eating lifestyle schedule with minimal unclean things in my body, it's a good life. So thank you for listening. Thank you for tolerating my very long 40-minute webinar. Sorry. It was truly an honor to have this opportunity to share with you. So thank you, Ashley, for your encouragement. Ashley Wallace on our admin team highly encouraged me to do this. So thank you, Ashley. Ladies, please send us a message. Let us know how we can help, and we will provide you with resources to research. And then download my resource guide, because I'm gonna give you links to all this stuff. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of our community. And I will see you soon.